Hi, and welcome to Gadget News and Review. We are home to some of the coolest gadgets, and the best consumer reviews online, buyer's guides and features. If you like our review, please subscribe for more upcoming reviews videos.
Samsung Galaxy Watch Review. A bold design with a couple new features. The Samsung Galaxy Watch is still one of the most refined smartwatches you can buy today thanks to its attractive design, cohesive user interface and, importantly, 4-day battery life. It's everything the Apple Watch 4 is not, for better and worse. Let's start with what's better. The Galaxy Watch looks and feels like a high-end wristwatch, with a circular stainless steel case and stylized bezel. It's both stylish and functional because, like the previous Gear S3, the bezel rotates to cycle through its various on-screen menus. This is the most satisfying way to navigate a smartwatch. Your fingers won't cover up the watch's small, hard to accurately target touchscreen, an issue with any smartwatch, and the rotating bezel, an idea exclusive to newer Samsung watches. The older Samsung Galaxy Watch Active is cheaper than the Galaxy Watch, but it doesn't feature that rotating bezel. Thankfully, the new Samsung Galaxy Active Watch 2 has a rotating digital bezel, with haptic buzzing to simulate a tactile feel when spinning through menus. It is, however, more expensive than its now discounted predecessor. You also won't find rotating bezels supported by Google's Wear OS, while Apple's WatchOS uses a less intuitive rotating digital crown button on the side. This is one of two reasons why the Galaxy Watch runs Samsung's Tizen software, not Wear OS. The other reason for the Tizen operating system is battery life. We found that the larger 46mm Galaxy Watch lasted a solid 4 days with normal use during our 2 months of testing. We checked messages, fetched constant notifications, tracked workouts, played Spotify, and talked to Bixby, Samsung's mostly terrible AI. Samsung says the smaller 42mm Galaxy Watch lasts 3 days. The big difference between the Galaxy Watch and the Gear S3, besides an extra day of battery, is that it's more fitness-focused, thanks to additional sensors and a revamped Samsung Health app. It auto-detects 6 of an expanded 39 exercises, and still helpfully nudges you when you're too sedentary, and it has a fairly accurate sleep tracker. It's also now waterproof down to 50 meters, matching the Gear S3 Sport 5 ATM rating in a more adult design. The Galaxy Watch does inherit problems from previous Gear watches, however, and what's bad is almost all software related. Samsung's core apps are polished, sure, but the Galaxy App Store lacks critical third-party apps, notably Google Maps, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp. The Bixby voice assistant is here, but it's no better than S-Voice at understanding us, and Samsung Pay doesn't use Magnetic Secure Transmission (MST), despite the fact the Gear S3 did. The Samsung Galaxy Watch is very much the Samsung Gear S4 that never was. It's an iterative update, one that adds fitness software, new sensors, and extra waterproofing to everything we liked in the Gear Sport last year and the Gear S3 before that. Before we get properly started, it's worth noting if you're looking for a fitness-led device you may want to wait a few weeks as there are rumors of a Samsung Galaxy Sport watch that may be more appropriate for you. The Galaxy Watch launched in the US on August 24, 2018, the same day the Galaxy Note 9 came out, and in the UK on September 6. Those in Australia had to wait a bit longer, but it's now available there too. It's actually cheaper than the Gear S3 was at launch, if you opt for the smaller size. It starts at $329 for the 42mm version, and $349 for the larger 46mm size, which we recommend. When it first came out, the Gear S3 cost $349, and only came in one size. The Galaxy Watch comes in 2 sizes, the larger 46mm size in a 2-tone silver and black color scheme, and the smaller 42mm size in either straight-up midnight black or rose gold. We tried on both sizes, and recommend the 46mm version for its larger battery and bigger touchscreen. It looks just fine on medium-sized wrists if you don't mind a slightly bigger watch. It's more of a fashion statement than the understated Apple Watch, even with the more screen-focused Apple Watch 4. Samsung's timepiece is big, circular, and meant to look like a wristwatch. We got compliments on its design when wearing it out. There was a lot of surprise that this was a smartwatch in a sea of people wearing the Apple Watch. It stands out. There's less variety when it comes to the case colors and included straps. The silver and black 46mm watch has 3 22mm strap options: onyx black, deep ocean blue, and basalt gray. The smaller black or rose gold 42mm watch has more 20mm strap variety: onyx black, lunar gray, terracotta red, lime yellow, cosmo purple, pink beige, cloud gray, and natural brown. Samsung sells extra straps, and any interchangeable 22mm or 20mm will work if you want to change up the style from day to day. The 1.3-inch Super AMOLED screen, 1.2-inch on the 42mm watch, is bright and color-rich, as we've come to expect from Samsung's stellar display technology. It's easy to see everything, even during an outdoor run, thanks to adaptive brightness settings. And its smart use of blacks, especially in the background, burns fewer pixels on the 320 by 320 resolution. The one downside is that the screen is slow to update when it's woken. The time and steps show old figures for half a second. It's like you're literally waking the watch up from a nap and it's taking a moment to come to its senses. The ornate and functional rotating bezel has a third characteristic: it makes the Samsung Galaxy Watch durable. Take it from us, we've broken the exposed Apple Watch glass screen more than once. There's protection here for the screen, with military-grade durability in Corning Gorilla Glass DX Plus that prevents the display from getting scratched, according to Samsung. 2 physical buttons adorn the Galaxy Watch, and while they're on the right side of the case, Samsung has wisely offset them from the usual center location, which means they're not prone to accidental presses against your bent wrist as on other smartwatches. This is a well-engineered watch, at least during the day. You'll want to wear this watch to bed for its helpful sleep tracking capabilities, but be warned, it's large and cumbersome to leave strapped to your wrist the entire night. The 46mm version is an ever-present 63 grams, and it can feel like a rock tethered to your wrist. This is the one and only area in which you'll be in better shape with the 42mm version, which weighs 49 grams. The Samsung Galaxy Watch puts more emphasis on fitness, with new auto-tracked workouts. Cycling, elliptical trainer, and rowing join returning auto-tracked exercises: walking, running, and dynamic workout for a total of 6 exercises that you don't need to worry about activating ahead of time. For example, every time we walked for 10 minutes the watch would reliably, and often unexpectedly, trigger the exercise tracker that we forgot to activate while speedily navigating New York City's bustling streets. It was always nice to get these prompts, and to know that the Galaxy Watch was keeping account of our steps, calories burned, and distance. That doesn't mean you should rely on the watch to trigger every exercise, or their close variants. We took the Galaxy Watch downhill mountain biking and, to our dismay but not total shock, it didn't auto-track that exercise under cycling or anything else. Samsung's watch tracks 39 exercises in total, including 21 indoor exercises and strength training exercises we rarely see on dapper-looking smartwatches. The LG Watch Sport is the other exception. Manual and auto-tracked runs were more accurate on the watch than on a Fitbit Versa, which tended to inflate steps and distance just a bit, and a generic smartphone activity tracking app, which inflated steps and distance a lot, with all trying to accomplish the same task. But the watch wasn't as successful at tracking sit-ups. At times, having to do 5 sit-ups for every 3 counted didn't inspire us with confidence. Throughout the day the watch vibrates if you're too sedentary, as if it's giving you a gentle nudge to get moving. It'll pester you to do torso twists, and give you the option to switch that out for another exercise, and count them like it doesn't believe you'll do it. It follows through with specifics, and doesn't just ask you to stand up for 1 minute each hour. Another motivator is challenging friends in the Together tab of Samsung Health. This lets you compete with a buddy to see who can expend more energy each day. The good news is that your friend doesn't need to have the new Samsung Galaxy Watch to compete, just any Gear Watch or the app. The bad news is that this is a one-on-one challenge, so you can't stage a competition with a group of friends. We found Samsung's new stress management tracker to be a neat idea, albeit fairly pointless in its execution. It's coupled with breathing exercises which we found calming: 15 seconds to breath in, and 15 seconds to breath out. All of this would have been better if the stress management feature truly worked automatically, like it's supposed to. Instead, we had to manually measure our stress. Fine. And it just seems to base everything on our heart rate. In the end, we were only stressed about this feature not working as advertised. Go figure. Sleep tracking does work as advertised, for the most part. It determines your sleep efficiency percentage with a 3-tier breakdown of your time in bed: motionless, light, and restless sleep. You can rate your sleep and follow a timeline of your sleep trend, though you'll have to draw your own conclusions from this data. There are no pointers on how to get a better night's sleep. The Samsung Galaxy Watch tracks sleep automatically, and the metrics appear to be accurate. We did tire of wearing it on our wrist some nights. As mentioned, the 46mm version is especially big, but we still went to bed wearing the watch every night because we wanted our ZZZS tracked, and we noticed that the watch lost very little battery life overnight. The Samsung Galaxy Watch has polished software, it just doesn't have enough to it. And that's our biggest complaint about this smartwatch. Lift the Galaxy Watch off its wireless charging pedestal and it greets you with a "hi" or "hello", then draws a little smiley face on the round display. It's warm, it's inviting, and it makes the Apple Watch, made by the company that insisted on making the Macintosh talk at its on-stage debut in 1984, seem unimaginative and pedestrian. Everything about Samsung's watch is more animated. As we shifted through the menus with the rotating bezel, the colorful, creative-looking widgets stood out as being easy to read, yet informative. The weather widget is a great example. It displays the temperature and a sometimes sunny icon in the biggest font, with highs and lows underneath in smaller characters. There are blue precipitation percentage and red UV level metrics that run along the circular perimeter of the display. Tapping into this menu reveals a just as colorful 5-day forecast. Every morning we were greeted with a daily briefing, a rundown of our schedule, the weather, and other important items. And sometimes our planned agenda didn't agree with impending weather conditions, which was helpful to know before setting out for the day. The Galaxy Watch widgets and settings are customizable, down to the quick settings pull-down menu at the top, and you can actually edit the row of quick settings icons to your liking, something we wanted from the WatchOS 5 and still haven't gotten yet. Samsung touted 2 software perks at launch and delivered. Tizen is up to 60,000 watch faces, giving you choices over styling, and you can develop your own if you don't like what's available, and its partnership with Spotify allows for offline music playback, which is great if you're looking to ditch your smartphone but don't want to manually load music onto the watch's 4 GB of internal storage space. If there's one thing Samsung gets right, it's creating a well-laid-out operating system. If there's one thing the company gets wrong, it's consistently failing to lure app developers to its platform. It's also an extra step to download Gear apps. Yes, they're still named this in the phone app and the Galaxy App Store. Apps on your phone don't automatically show up on your watch. There's no Google Maps or native Maps software for your wrist. The Here Maps app is a good third-party alternative, no Lyft, even if Uber is here, and there's no Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, although there are a lot of sketchy alternatives, if you want to risk your message privacy. You can get notifications for these messages and even respond to them, but starting a new conversation will see you fetching your phone. And while Samsung Pay is present, the company cut the magnetic secure transmission (MST) technology that made it special by working with non-NFC credit card machines, yet MST was in the Gear S3 watches. Bixby, Samsung's unlikable voice assistant on its phones, and, soon, the Samsung Galaxy Home speaker, is no better than S-Voice on the Gear S3, to the point where we missed Google Assistant, and even the sometimes mediocre Siri, because they understood our commands. Not everyone needs a voice assistant on their watch, or a good third-party app ecosystem. A lot of app developers are pulling away from Apple's WatchOS platform. For you, having a well-polished operating system for core content may be more important than having a deep one. We got a solid 4 days out of the Samsung Galaxy Watch battery, running 3 different 100% to 0% tests over the course of 12 days. It didn't quit early any time we tested it under normal conditions, meaning without the always-on display enabled, it's turned off by default. In fact, in one test the 472 mAh battery, the capacity of the 46mm watch, proved it could chug along for part of a 5th day before dying on our wrist. This was all while using the heart rate monitor, tracking exercises, tracking sleep, and placing a wrist-initiated phone call. Samsung's power-saving mode is even more impressive. One evening we turned it on with 2% battery left and the watch stayed alive for the remainder of that night, and we could still get calls and messages in this basic mode. By contrast, the Apple Watch 4 low power mode tells you the time. We did see a significant drop in battery life when we activated the always-on display. Screen on time causes the biggest battery drain, even though the screen is dimly lit when asleep. The smaller 42mm Galaxy Watch is rated for 3 days of use, which is to be expected as it has a smaller 270 mAh battery. We'll be sure to test this at a later date when we get the smaller watch into test. What we didn't foresee was that the included wireless charging pedestal was the only way we could charge this smartwatch. Not even Samsung's fast wireless charging pad would charge it. Yes, Samsung's watch uses a special wireless charger, and that means you could easily get stuck with a dead Galaxy Watch and have to go back to the office to fetch the tiny pedestal, which, by the way, uses a micro USB, not USB-C, cable. Samsung's solution? Buy its new wireless charger Duo, of course, which will charge your phone and smartwatch at the same time. It's also Samsung's answer to Apple's AirPower. The Samsung Galaxy Watch works best with Samsung phones, which come with the Gear app already loaded up. But it works with other new and old Android phones, too. They just need to run Android 5.0 or later, which is Android Lollipop from 2014. We used the Pixel 2 in our testing when pairing the watch with a non-Samsung phone. We also tested our Galaxy Watch out with a third device, an iPhone X. The iPhone 5 and above are compatible with the smartwatch, running iOS 9 or newer, but with more read than write functionality. You can read iMessage notifications, but you can't reply to them, and you can't initiate any communications. There's no email, phone call, or messaging app. We also had to open the Samsung Gear app every once in a while on the iPhone to keep the connection active, otherwise the watch would go into standalone mode. This smartwatch is a better companion to Android phones, specifically a Samsung phone, like the Note 9. The Samsung Galaxy Watch has the best design and slickest operating system of any smartwatch we've tested. It resembles a real watch, has a healthy number of auto-tracked workouts, and its core software operates intuitively via the rotating bezel. The 4-day battery life allows for more doing and less charging. Sure, the chunky design is going to be too big for some people, and the app selection is too small for just about everyone. And no one will use Samsung's Bixby Assistant on this watch, although we're not sure if this one matters. Few people are ready to talk to a voice-controlled AI via their watch just yet. The Samsung Galaxy Watch feels like the smartwatch of right now instead of tomorrow. Its onboard software is impressive, and shows up nicely on its big circular display. It's impressive for quickly glancing at notifications and tracking your fitness goals, all on what could be mistaken for a conventional wristwatch.